anything on KIC 8462852 or Tabby star in a long time, better part of probably almost a year now. And there's a few developments. Everybody's trying to say that the reason the stars dim is due to comets passing in front of it. All the major tests done by MIT and all the major groups that I've mentioned in the past have come out that there's no real data coming back to suggest there are any comets rather near KIC 8462852, and I don't know where the proximity of that information would be, if it would be within, like, a couple hundred miles in radius around the situation, or what it would be. But there's a lot of anomalies coming out of the brightness dimming from the star, and nobody can really understand why this ring feature almost seems like it's pretty clearly there, and that the star, or what is believed to be a star, is actually dimming. And there's several theories being purported and reported thereof. The alien hypothesis obviously being the most popular. Everybody's still saying it's orbiting comets, even though we have systems that come back in the area where we can detect how the vibrations of what we send out come back, and we can tell by that how a comet looks in our data scientifically. And we can say this is the fluctuation for when a comet is involved. And there's none of that data is coming back to make that a modeling theory, at least, about KIC 8462852. And this is actually getting to be pretty good. I mean, this is the one that everybody said, had this and had that. And I guess there's almost 100 years, if not 200 years of data going back on this. Bradley Schaefer, a physicist and astronomer professor at Louisiana State University, examined the data from Harvard archive, digitally scanned photographic plates of the sky dating back more than a century. How the hell they did that, I don't know. But he compiled the data and realized that the star system also dimmed between 1890 and 1989. So the star's dimming is unique and inexplicable, says Schaefer. Millions of these stars have been monitored for this sort of thing, and they don't fade, he said. The probability of a comet family creating an erratic dip in brightness is highly unlikely. This is him still talking. The century-long dimming trend requires an estimated 648,000 giant comets, and all orchestrated to pass in front of the star within the last century. He writes in his research paper, the trouble with Tabby's star is its perfectly ordinary star. The only thing that was unusual about the star was the dim seen by Kepler. And this was done by NASA's Kepler telescope that investigated KIC 8462852's bizarre dimming from 2009 to 2013, and it revealed Tabby's star, unlike ordinary stars that slowly dip in brightness when planets pass by them, has displayed unusual fluctuations of light that sometimes decrease by as much as 20%. SETI's got involved. If you remember, they passed this one on to the United States Air Force and the United States Air Force contacted SETI, I believe, and they allowed SETI to be the governing body of the situation, and they actually wanted to send it up to naval intelligence into what we would call the secret space program to find out information. I think when they did, they basically got shut down. I don't care what you call the secret space program. Call it whatever you want. Couple super shuttles we have that, go different places and do different things and whatever you want to call it, but we know Lockheed Martin, Boeing, etc. have super projects in their backyard, so the idea that the Navy or the Air Force wouldn't have their own, 2 or 3 platoons of good ships that can do, interstellar travel, etc., and do it regularly is nearly a fallacy, especially given the timeline and the progression of technology we have now. So there's a lot of strange things coming from this star system, and this star in particular, KIC 8462852. And there would have to be 648,000 comets, large comets. They would have to be able to block the, block this. And all the major professionals are saying not only is that highly unlikely, the star is still dimming at 20% or greater, which is not seen in any of the other major stars that we're observing. So, you can say whatever you want, folks, but there is still something very strange about this. Now, could it be something we have? It could be. Could one of the earlier civilizations of our people gone off to a distant star and started this? Hell, maybe that's why every country in the world right now is $19 trillion in debt. Maybe we funded this in I don't know. Let's say we found the first major UFO in the we'll say the 1780s. Got a space program running, a secret one probably by the 1890s, I imagine, to 1940s, depending on the level of technology and the complexity of technology you can allow. So we got a few ships going, and then we brought it to public in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. We could have had something built by then, or nearly starting construction, along with, other past civilizations of humans that have gone out on the planet. I mean, it could be ours, it could be anybody's. Could just be random anomalies that we can't explain. But remember, if technology is explaining using modeling and theory that something is technologically changing by numbers sporadically, it is generally changed by technology itself. I mean, we're going back to basic logic here. I'm not going to rule it out because I'm not one to say, oh no, because of Jesus we do not have this, or because of Jesus, this did not exist, or demons or whatever could have constructed this. Whatever your logic is, aliens like us, whatever. So this is my theory on it, and whether or not you believe this thing has this giant ring or anything like it at this point, I think is irrelevant. But the technology is coming back and telling us that things are very different about this KIC 8462852. Thank you.